Okay, microphones kind of freak me out, so let me know if my volume is bad. Um, First of all, I wanted to say that it's really just an honor to be here. This is really cool. Just being around all these people who have the same struggles across the whole world. I had no idea there would be such a huge array of people, so this is like, I feel really honored to be here. Um, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is, well, there were a couple of things that I wrote down a couple of things that people said in the first panel. And Belen was talking about not being able to take care of bills, not getting time off, no compensation for injuries and stuff like that. And it reminded me of how in barista work, we really only get to plan out our lives like 2 weeks out if we're lucky and we have a manager who's actually on top of the schedules, like maybe 3 weeks, but usually like 1 or 2. And then like 1 week we might get 15 hours, 1 week we might get 5 hours. And how are you supposed to pay your bills if it's varying that much? Because the bills don't vary, the bills are always there. So that's like, and that's just the norm in the coffee industry. Like this is just how it is. And we kind of take it for granted because we're all so used to it. But then when you really think about it, it's like, this is not good conditions to be in, it's not fair. Another thing is, in the coffee industry at Peet's, and it's similar with Peet's and Starbucks, we have benefits technically, but to get the benefits, you have to be working a minimum of 21 hours a week. Typically, it's only shift leads who work that number of hours, and there's only, depending on the shop, 3 or 4 shift leads. So you've already got like only a small amount of the team being eligible for benefits. And then on top of that, most people can't even afford them. I think I'm the only person on my team who actually has health insurance through Peet's that I have for me and my wife. And we have to pay like one of the higher tier like health plans because we both have medications that we're on. So we need that. I mean, everyone needs it. And I'm in a position where I can only afford it, kind of, because I've worked at Peet's for close to 6 years, and every year we get a review. It's like a merit-based thing, so based on how you did in the year, you either get a meets, a exceeds, or an outstanding. So the way that I can even be at Peet's still is that every year I get an exceeds, and then last year I got an outstanding. But an outstanding, this is actually one of the big things that led me to be like, okay, we need to unionize, we need to figure out how you unionize. Because so outstanding is the best you can do. It's essentially like, you cannot do more than that. And I got a 50-cent raise. And I was just like, oh, so if I work my ass off constantly, I'm doing the job of an assistant store manager, and I'm just a shift lead. And not only that, like my boss, my former manager, had to make the argument that I deserved the outstanding to her boss. And what she did to prove that I like deserved it was, we have these like job, like success profiles, I think they call them. So she highlighted all the work that I was doing, and I was doing the work of an assistant store manager on the track to becoming a manager, and I'm being paid as a shift lead. And so when like that all happened, I was just like, okay, this isn't gonna get better. Peet's has this reputation of being like, oh, we're not like Starbucks, we're like a good coffee shop, and we have this culture that's like people first and inclusive and whatever. But meanwhile, like in reality, it's just another corporation. It's all about profit. And one of the challenges I think in organizing for us is actually, I think Peet's kind of uses their reputation against, they used it against us in many ways, because first of all, people have kind of, Peet's isn't as much in the news as like Starbucks, for example, so people kind of think, oh, well, at least Peet's is cool, because it started out in Berkeley in the 60s, and it was all about like starting this coffee revolution of quality, and it's just kind of over the years, even just over the past, my time at Peet's, like 6 years, I've seen a huge drop in that, like, that attention to quality and training, and it's just getting worse from there. What's the other thing? I have so many things to say. You mentioned something about, well, I can't remember. Someone mentioned a point that reminded me that on mobile orders, we do DoorDash, people can pick up orders and there's orders through the app and stuff. I found a statistic through Pete's actually that back in 2019 we were at, 6% mobile orders, and now we're at 32%. And so what that looks like in a day in the life of a barista is during peak time, you'll get all these mobile orders and you'll have a whole cafe full of people waiting to order. And we have to basically try to time it so that we're acknowledging all the customers, talking to them, also keeping all the mobile orders organized. So you have to, as they come out of the machine, you have to put them from left to right, and then you kind of have to okay, you're grabbing sandwiches, you're on register, you're grabbing drink sets, and then it's chaotic. We fill the whole counter with mobile order tickets sometimes. And then our customers in-house are getting mad at us because they feel like we're prioritizing mobile orders, but we have to do things in the right order, and it's just it's so much more than we've ever done. And we have higher turnover. Wow, time passes so fast. I'm gonna move on from all that because we're all on the same page of our jobs are exploiting us. So I wanted to move forward to, well, first of all, some good news. So we unionized the first Pete's Coffee back in January, and we got 14-1 win. So that was really cool. So that's very, very exciting. We also just entered, well, the good thing is we entered into negotiations technically. The bad thing is Pete's decided to enter into negotiations and recognize us as a union in March, which is the same month that yearly reviews happen every year. So we entered status quo, which means that my coworkers who've been working to become a barista, because you start out as a team member and then you have to train to be a barista and you get a 50-cent raise, they're not getting anything, even though they've been working for months to become a barista. Now, because the timing of everything, they are not getting their raises. We're gonna get way more than the stupid 50 cents though, so we're gonna have more than that. It definitely pisses me off though, because I've watched my coworkers work so hard for that, and now they're working in a new position that's uncompensated. So that's just them being stolen from. Anyway, okay, so I have all my coworkers are students, as far as I know, and the age range is pretty young. Everyone is doesn't have a whole lot of job experience necessarily. So unfortunately, a lot of the union busting that happened. So one of the challenges I think is preparing people to know what union busting can look like, because it's done in a very gross, secret, they're okay, so this is the way that Pete's uses their reputation as being a more progressive or whatever coffee shop. They, instead of coming in and saying don't unionize, they came in and they had one-on-one conversations with us, and they were hey, so I don't want our relationship to be compromised by the union. So I want you to really think hard about your decision here, and you have a right to not unionize. And they frame it that way, and it was really weird. But some people, because we were trying to organize with another store, a lot of those people actually were tricked by that. And so one of the challenges I think is making sure that when we're inoculating people, that they really know what union busting can look like, because they often, it's not just people coming in and being mean to you and being don't unionize. They do it in a really kind of way that sometimes people don't pick up on, because they think these are these people that I've built these relationships with, they care about me, but they actually don't. Man, I have so many things to say. I only have another minute, but I think one of the things that frustrates me the most is how this is considered an in-between temporary job. That's one of the arguments I think they make for not treating us well, is they're oh well, it's just to get people through school or whatever. But you go to work and you're exploited, And then you go to school and you're exploited by academia, which is a whole other can of worms. And my coworkers are all in school and incredibly smart people. And I have 2 degrees as well, and I'm treated like I just have this meaningless job. And all these people who look down on baristas, they buy our coffee, so it's obviously valuable to them. But somehow it's not valuable enough for us to like be paid a living wage. So, yeah, there's I think my main message I feel like that I want to get across to people is I think there's this idea of Pete's being like better than Starbucks, and it's just not true. It's just another corporation. They have the same. They're trying to switch out. Oh, I've been talking to people too about like more like AI, like automation stuff. They're trying to replace our espresso machines with these automated machines where you just click a button. So instead of investing in training, they're basically like spending less and less time on training, and they're going to replace our machines with these ones where you click a button, because they're just accepting that there's high turnover, which is because we're not supported and there's high burnout and we're really stressed out. And instead of supporting people like they say they care about, they end up they're going to replace all of our machines with, you know, I mean, do you want to go to a coffee shop and pay like $7 for a coffee and they click a button for you? Like it's not like what you go to Pete's for. You go for the craft, and they're like taking that away from us. So I guess the last thing I'll say, I'm looking forward to hearing people's questions, because I do have some ideas on like how you organize in the current time. Someone was talking about like the time of TikTok. I have some ideas about that. So I'll answer questions once we get to that. But I think the main thing, the last point I'll make is like one of the things that they said to us when they were kind of getting us to try to make union staff scary is they said like, you know, this is going to change the culture of Pete's. And so my thought to that was like, what culture? The culture of overwork and the culture of exploitation and putting work before the health of our own bodies. And so like if that's the culture that they're worried about changing, I think that's great. Like I want to change the culture, and that's what we're going to do. So we deserve safe working conditions. We deserve a living wage. A living wage, and we also deserve to just enjoy our lives and have fun. Like we're like young people destroying our bodies for a cup of coffee. My coworkers are really diverse. They're queer, trans, non-binary, men and women, black, brown, indigenous, international, artists and scientists, and neurodivergent. There's a lot of neurodivergent people in coffee shops. A lot of us have hidden disabilities, and we don't have any accommodations. And so together we're all going to unite for collective liberation. And this is only the beginning. There's other Pete's coffees that have reached out to us, so we're gonna try to unionize all of them. So yeah, when we fight, we win.